Hi everybody, this is Art Samurai, and today I'm going to be reacting to ReZero's Season 3, Episode 14. Yes. But first, let's talk about Episode 13 a little more. So, first, it'll be just the brief glimpse of Lai. Then I'll talk about Al with not gluttony, lust. And then what most of the episode is about, which is Garfield versus Kurgan. So, on the first part, I already talked about Otto not being willing to tell anyone about his divine protection, which I liked. Also, we have revealed to us that Feld's party has a sorcerer, and that sorcerer, what was it exactly? Well, Feld just says that the Mythia that they're waiting for, it's a secret weapon that their sorcerer gave them. Now, we don't know if the sorcerer, created it, or just bought it, or made some negotiations with it. We don't know how they came up with it. But, yeah. Now, we don't know if they actually tested it on Reinhard, or that's just Felt or Old Man Rom giving his calculations. But regardless, it's all pretty vague. Otto Gaston, which we now have all the names of Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest. The little guy is, I think, Cambry, or Cambry, who was the one who was supposed to be watching and keeping Heinkel prisoner, but he failed, and he's roaming around. So considering that got brought up again, there's definitely a chance that he might show up as well in the Wilhelm versus Theresia fight. And that could go a different type of, there's multiple different ways that could go. But yeah, Felt leaves, and she's helped by Gaston here, who apparently can use his mana to block a physical attack, and is strong enough that Lai, a archbishop, cannot actually break through it. So that's pretty strong. And then we have that comment from Lai about, I guess that's the 3 that Rui would like. So I'm guessing Rui is the 3rd gluttony, but no confirmation yet. But that feels what it's referring to. Then we have Al versus Capella. And the whole time, well, most of the time, Al is just completely, he does not make an attempt to hide his disgust at what she does and how she talks. That said, though, I do think he was being truthful when he said, I don't like you, nor do I hate you. I just do not care about you. But because Capella would take a lot more offense to him saying, I hate you, because he wants everyone to love her, he went with that one, trying to provoke her and get another opening to try and kill her. And I just, that moment, where is it? When she's like, oh yeah, my sublime love will take in even the likes of you. As long as you take off that helmet, blah blah blah. And Al just sheaths his sword. Like, that's crazy. The fact that he's in front of an archbishop, but he sheathed his sword just to make a bit about rejecting her in a very, like, feminine, exaggerated way. Which I have seen people say that it feels very much like Subaru. And I mostly agree, since, you know, because Subaru does do that, but not all the time. Like, that's a big coping mechanism of his, just using humor to deflect as well. So that could also be a thing with Al. He's using humor to cover up the fact that he's actually pretty stressed and worried. But yeah, I feel like if Capella said something like that to Subaru, like, yeah, he could be like, oh, you're not my type, but at the same time, I could also see him, like, get really angry and be like, don't you dare toy with the feelings I have. You know, they're not so weak, you asshole. So, I don't know. But yeah, Capella's power doesn't actually need to see the person she's copying, which is kind of not OP, but like, yeah, really skipping a lot of steps there. Like, she only needs to see the person, like, for example, Al, Subaru, Felix. She only needs to see them to find out what kind of person or girl they are interested in, based on, like, the way of speaking, the way they move, etc. And it's not like an exact science, because she doesn't know right away. And she does say that it's probably because of the helmet. But at first she doesn't know. But she's like, okay. Talks a lot, but is smart. Sharp gaze, voluptuous body. But then it's like, something like this? Or this? Like, she doesn't fully know she's getting it right. And she doesn't even know, as well, the color of the hair until she arrives to the right one, as well as the voice. And when Al, like, questions, where have you seen the princess, she just, yeah, I've never seen her or heard of her before in my life. Your reactions and your attitude. Any move you make, I won't miss. I'm the type who gives it my all. So, I don't know if this is like some type of, like, I don't think it's like some type of, like, divine protection related to, like, mind reading. I think it's related to the authority of lust, because it's similar to the way that what was it? Faceless Bride from Carmilla operated. But with her, she herself didn't change physically. It was all from the mind of the person she was using that power on. It was all in their mind. That's how she appeared to them. For example, Subaru wanted to be comforted, so he saw her as Rem. But this is different. Capella makes the conscious decision to turn into this, and it's not up to the person she's facing. But yeah, considering it's interesting the way that Al reacts to seeing Capella get pretty much spot on how Priscilla looks and sounds. He sounds genuinely angry. So there's definitely something there in regards to his relationship with Priscilla, or the way he feels about her. There's definitely something more that we're not privy to. At least from his side of things. But yeah, she genuinely does want his love. Because she wants everyone's love. And she feels really insecure every time she gets rejected. Like, doesn't matter what kind of other skin you put on, your inside does not change. But yeah, he also uses earth magic. Now, I don't know how... I think he used Eldona to basically blow her up. Yeah. So I don't know how earth magic do that. But maybe it was like, you know, very spiky pieces of earth. But it was pretty risky. Her blood could have gone in his skin. Considering how much, yeah, it got on his sword. But anyway, he was not able to kill her there. And she once again gets upset that he's talking about another woman in front of her. And comparing her to her. Like, there's definitely gonna be something about Capella that once we find out is going to make this a lot more understandable. Then we have Garfield. Now we've gotten here. And while I feel like it was already pretty obvious that he felt guilt about killing Elsa. Yes, she was a psychopath that wanted to kill, just, you know, his sister, a little girl, and poor Beatrice. He's, at the end of the day, just a 14-year-old who isn't or wasn't really ready to do something that, you know, he can't take it back. And yeah, in Failed Loops in Season 2, we do see him kill people. But when he's in his tiger mode and he didn't really seem to be in control of that, it didn't really seem like he was really there. And we never got to see, you know, what kind of emotional, psychological consequences he could have had in those loops. But yeah, just that alone, like, you could just say, yeah, it was completely justified. Even then, it's still really affecting him. Also, let's continue with the Elsa thing. So, later on, those, like, lost creatures, well, I'm assuming that Capella made them, attack him again when he's protecting, damn, I forgot the names of the kids, I'm sorry. But his little siblings. We see his hallucination of Elsa basically be there in their stead. And he flashes back to his fight with her, or, you know, the real her, when he got the last hit on her. Then he looks at his little siblings, and he remembers the times he spent with them and gets some renewed determination and kills both the lust creature and Elsa, the Elsa in his mind. And he gets a love confession again that he rejects and says, "And you're not her." Now, this could just be like literal, like you're not the girl I'm interested in. But I think it's more interesting to see it like this embodiment of his guilt and his insecurities. You know, the way that he feels inadequate in many ways. He's saying, that's enough. Like, it's hard to explain what I mean by that. But yeah, you're not the real Elsa. You're all the pieces of me that I don't like. So there's no room for you here anymore. I've made my decision, and I've found new motivation within myself. You don't have any room here anymore. I don't know. Let me know. And what's your interpretation of this? As for the Kurgan fight itself, I think it's cool that we get some exposition on who he was in life and how that's relevant to this. Like, demi-humans are already discriminated, but the many-armed tribe was even more so. And usually the many arms have 4 to 5, but he has 8. So he already was more discriminated than his own people, and yet he took up the sword and fought for them. Which I think that helps to see that it's not just Garfield's fighting prowess that made him recognize him at the end, but it was also the fact that he's also a demi-human, and he saw all these people cheering for him. This a demi-human being cheered by, you know, a bunch of humans. And maybe he saw a little bit of himself in Garfield. Someone who, despite a lot of things going against him, he still chooses to fight for these people who are not like him. You know, going even a step above Kurgan. And of course we have the whole, you know, how many cleavers he has in his hand, recognizing how worthy his opponent is of using his true strength, which is very shonen. But I think it did a lot for Garfield's self-esteem, and also just recognizing the 2 kids as his siblings and saying, I'll have a talk with you after, makes me think that Garfield has also come to has made peace with the whole thing with his mom and his role within Emilia's party as well. You know, he's not just the unbreakable shield. He's also Gorgeous Tiger, Garfield Tinsel. There's many more parts of him that are worthy of saying to someone in battle, but also just you know, when bonding with someone, rather than just being a warrior. Or at least that's how I took it. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say, which was a lot, but yeah. As for episode 14, unfortunately, I have seen some fan art that feels spoilery. Like, I think we're going to see a young Wilhelm and a young Heinkel together. So, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully we get more of Theresia and Wilhelm flashbacks, but just, I've had enough of the "do you like flowers" scene. But anyway, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my god, no, I do not have subtitles on. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, let me count again. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. What? Is this from her perspective? Oh, okay, this is cool. I'm fine with seeing this again if we're getting her thoughts. Hana ga suki ka? Yeah. No opening. Oh yeah, last scene of the episode was him saying like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and this way you can't exist. Because, she doesn't look like she did when she died. So that's unnatural. Oh. What? Oh, go ahead, tell. Oh. Older Theresia. Oh, yo, the animation and direction. Nice. Oh, Heinkel. Okay. I did see that coming. No! Oh, man. I saw that coming. I feel so bad for Wilhelm. Are we gonna find out more about what's Heinkel's deal? Oh. Oh! Oh, Reinhard! Oh, we got the whole fam here. Ah. Oh, Reinhard. Oh, he's drawing the blade. Yeah, of course. Theresia would be worthy. That was a cool visual. Oh. Wow. Oh, this hurts. Oh, her eyes. Okay. I would not mind if most of the episode is flashbacks. Oh, that was... Oh, that really got to me. "12, that might have been... She might have been older than Reinhardt. Her father? Man, she really didn't like wielding a sword. Oh, and also feeling like she didn't earn it. Oh man, I'm so ready for Theresia to actually become a full-fleshed character. Oh, this is so good. We've heard of this. Yeah, she participated in the war when she was 14? I mean, yeah, of course she's the Swordsaint. They would force her. Oh man, did he die? Mm, okay. Jeez. That's brutal. Shit. Hmm. Oh man. Oh, uncle. Jeez, that's so tragic. Whoa. Oh, that's pretty. This moment. Oh, now what we just learned, that gives so much more weight to this. Okay. I like their story a lot more now. No. Oh. No. Oh, Reinhard's mom. Okay. Oh, he didn't say it. Mm. Oh, that's such a good line. Oh, don't go. No, no. next time. Oh. I did not expect to get this emotional, so... Mm. Oh shit, that's where she... Yeah, she lost the divine protection. Pandora! Pretty jump scare. Ooh. Oh, man. Oh! Oh, awesome. We do get final moments here with... Oh, please. Oh. Oh. post credits. Ugh. Oh man, ooh, I don't like that. Oh, that was a lot. Give me a second. Okay. I I don't think I've waited enough to be super coherent about my thoughts on this episode, but it's definitely a top 3 episode of the season. Easy, easy. So first I'll talk about the scenes in the present. So we just get Wilhelm and Theresia fighting first. But then pretty soon Heinkel shows up. And he's completely shocked once he pieces together what's happening. But Wilhelm notices him, and the undead corpse, Theresia, gets an opening and stabs him in the leg. That gets him on the ground and isn't able to get up. But it seems like Heinkel just kinda for most of the episode, or until the post credits. He kind of just regresses to a childlike state at seeing his mom. He tries to do something with his sword. Obviously, it doesn't do anything. But most importantly, Wilhelm is practically begging Theresia to not do anything to Heinkel. And even though they obviously didn't enjoy each other's company when we first saw them interact, this is complicated, of course. So Wilhelm doesn't want Heinkel to be killed, much less by Theresia herself. And even though Wilhelm knows logically that this is not something Theresia would do, his mind still sees it as her. And yeah, just the desperation of Wilhelm trying to get her to attack him instead, that was already tugging at my heartstrings. But Reinhard shows up, and he's like, is there a small part of him that didn't want Heinkel to be killed? Or simply, I just don't want even if he was killed, it wouldn't be right for this corpse soldier that looks like grandma to do it. But Reinhard definitely feels like he has to do this. I mean, he literally says, after he draws the sword, grandmother died 15 years ago by my hand. Yeah, so this sure as hell is not gonna do anything to his guilt from when he was a child, because he still sees it as that. The one you see here is a mere fake. And whether he truly believes that, or he has to keep telling himself and the other two that to be able to live with this, I'm not sure. But just because it looks like Reinhard is keeping it together, there's definitely some moments where you can see his expression that it really pains him that he's the one that's going to do this. Similarly to Theresia in the past, he doesn't want to be the one bearing all these expectations. But there's no one that has the amount of strength to be able to do this, so he has to. Literally, like we see at the end there, Theresia passing Reinhard her own weight of expectations to him, and wishing that they will not be as crushingly heavy as they were to her. But as we see here, that's yeah, Reinhard's still dealing with a lot in regards to what being the Swordsaint means. Like, he definitely needs his own Wilhelm eventually. to tell him, it's okay. You don't have to be the one to bear this burden alone. I feel also that's a big reason why he gravitates so much towards Subaru. He's like the closest thing. And maybe in a way felt as well. But they're not there yet. But yeah, he cuts her down. Like, of course, he's wielding the sword, and he's the one with the divine protection of the Swordsaint, so she goes down with the one hit. And we have that beautiful, beautiful scene with Theresia in Wilhelm's arms, and him trying to tell her what he said at the end of when he killed the whale. And she tries to tell him, even if you didn't tell me, I always knew. And that was really sweet. Regardless, I still wanted him to say it. It wouldn't feel right if he didn't. And the fact that they both say it at the same time, oh, that got me. I'm not sure what to make of what Reinhard and Heinkel are doing in the background while she's passing. Heinkel is just looking at the floor, his hands on his head, very much not able to deal with any of this, and just retreating into his shell. Whereas Reinhard is definitely looking directly at his grandparents, but doing his damnedest to act like it doesn't affect him. And then the post-credits. Like, I never had any illusion that Heinkel witnessing something like this would change his outlook on things in any way. But man, it was still upsetting to see him just completely just be such an asshole to Reinhard right away. I mean, that's obviously Heinkel's coping mechanism to lash out and his own guilt projected onto someone else. And who better than his vulnerable son that he's been verbally abusing since he was a little kid. But I do like that Reinhard, unlike in episode 1 of this season, he didn't shy away and try to act like Heinkel wasn't there, but kept his ground and didn't let him affect the decisions that he's been making. Oh, it cannot have been the previous Swordsaint, my grandmother. And the zoom in on his eyes. If anything, I think that's mostly to show us how how clear his resolve is about this. But then, yeah, Heinkel then questions him, like, what was those last few moments then? But he gets interrupted by Wilhelm. But I was curious what Reinhard's response could have been. But yeah, that line when he calls Reinhard a murderer. And a rotten brat. Like, yeesh. No wonder Reinhard feels like his humility, I feel like, is more so because of Heinkel always putting him down and calling him all these things. And Reinhard taking them to heart and internalizing them. When Wilhelm tells Heinkel to stop, Reinhard has an interesting expression. Like he allows himself to look a little down. But here, Wilhelm, do you regret killing your grandmother? I'm guessing, like, surely he has to mean here, not when he was a kid. Because obviously, that was not his fault. Yeah, he just says, I have no regrets about that. Oh, bro, the way that Wilhelm just completely gives his back to Reinhard after that. Like, I'm guessing it's the opposite of what he wanted to hear. Like, even if it had to be done, he wanted him to have regrets about this. You know, like, oh, I wish it could have been different. But Reinhard can't afford to voice that. Like, I would guess he does have those regrets. But especially with Heinkel there, he doesn't feel comfortable saying something that vulnerable. You are right and I am wrong. He's basically drawing a line between them there. Like, of all the things I expected to happen after this Theresia corpse soldier was dealt with, was not this. Like, Heinkel, never expected anything from him. But I wanted or expected Wilhelm to be a little more understanding and finally tell Reinhard, you don't have to feel bad about any of this anymore, you know? Just give him the closure that he needs. But no, he doesn't give it to him. And in fact, I'm feeling like there's gonna be even more distance between them. Oof. Yeah, I have nothing more to say to you. Yeah, that's what really got me to be like, we're really going 5 steps backwards here with the way that Wilhelm was treating Reinhard. Just so coldly. Not once did he ask Reinhard, are you okay? And then basically sends him away where he doesn't have to see him. Oh yeah, and calling him Swordsaint here by his title, the title that caused so much trouble to Theresia, and now him. Like, that has so much weight to it, that title. And obviously just by not calling him only by his name, that alone is putting distance between them. He's not talking to him like his grandpa, but like someone in a battlefield giving him an order as a sword demon. And that's just making me sad. And he does a similar thing to Heinkel, but obviously that hurts me a lot less. Yeah, it's very, very telling that not once does he look back at Reinhard's back. He just can't bring himself to do it. Sorry, I know I said I was only going to talk about the present scenes before getting into the actual flashback. At least to me. Like, there was so much to say about what happened between the three Astrayas here. Am I disappointed on Wilhelm for this? Yes. Am I surprised? A little. Like, I get that he's hurt. And he doesn't really have it in himself to afford any comfort towards Reinhard. But I feel like it's even more than that. Like, we were just putting some effort and progress into mending the relationship. And it feels like we got back to zero again. And it feels discouraging. Like, I don't necessarily think it's like a grudge, but I feel like Wilhelm definitely can't understand Reinhard's feelings at all. Because once Reinhard entered the fray, he literally said, like, don't kill my Theresia. Even though that's what he was trying to do this for a few episodes now. So maybe even if Heinkel didn't show up, let's say he did get a good opening on her, like, emotionally he wouldn't have been able to go through with it. That's the big difference between him and Reinhard. Wilhelm felt it his duty as her husband, whereas Reinhard has a lot more writing here than just this looking like his grandma. There's so many more people that could be hurt if he doesn't do this, because he's the Swordsaint. What did Theresia say? Like, you're the next Swordsaint. And she picks up the sword. I must pick up my sword. Can't find it. They is like, you're the Swordsaint, you're the source of hope, and like, all you hear, the pillar of moral support for the entire kingdom. If you don't have that title, then yeah, of course you wouldn't be able to really get what that really is. What that's really like. Also, no wonder, like, if Wilhelm told Theresia, like, yeah, I'll take your place, just stop using the sword and I'll fight for you, without saying that he can beat her, considering what happened to her brother. Try to do the same thing first, but as she saw that he couldn't do her job, She stepped up to do it, even if she hated it. Also, that whole conversation between Theresia and Wilhelm before she goes to fight the whale. That's so good. And you can really feel how many years they've been together. And how stubborn both of them are. Or were. Even if it's by ornament or ornamental. There's a lot more that I could say about the flashback, but this video is going long, so let me just say that I really did not expect to see Pandora here. Like, once we found out that Theresia had lost the Swordsaint divine protection, I was like, okay, that makes more sense that she would die to the whale. But no, we just had to throw in Pandora as well. So she didn't die to the whale. No one, of course, would know. Only we get to know. Also, Pandora didn't even introduce herself. She just killed her. I want to understand you. Okay. Oh man, yeah. She's thinking of Reinhard as she dies. You don't need to be tied down. I pray you will have new encounters in your life with more than just a sword. As I did. Yeah. That's basically her passing on the torch. Oh man, that was so sad. But yeah, just seeing Theresia's hopes for Reinhard and then seeing how he's doing right now is yeah, pretty sad. Especially considering what just happened. You got Reinhard and Wilhelm just a lot more away from each other than they were before this. There's, you know what? I hadn't even like thought about that, but it's also like the way Wilhelm is acting, I think, could also be motivated by him feeling guilty that he had to put this on Reinhard once again, due to the whole thing of telling Subaru, please don't tell Reinhard about this. It should be me who deals with this. So maybe he's dealing with his guilt in an unhealthy way again. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that as well. But yeah, I talked too much already, and hopefully I can gain more insight and talk to you about it next week. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Till next time, see ya.